I'm Melissa A. Mitchell. I am from Miami, Florida, but I've been in Atlanta for 10 years now. And I discovered my ability to be a creative as a child, but I didn't pick up a paintbrush until 2014. So this is my 3-year anniversary of becoming a painter. And so we're actually sitting in one of my many visions and dreams I just finished last Monday. So I'm an artist, but I also like to call myself a creator.
Okay, and so what made you 3 years ago pick up a paintbrush?
I was home bored during a snowstorm, and I said, God, I gotta find something to do. And I kept walking by all this old wood I had from gifts I made for my sister. And I had some old paint, and I heard something say paint. I was like, oh, paint. I'm like, what does that mean? And I literally heard God say, you need to paint. And so I used to make all these little, you're bored in the meeting, you just like doodle, you're like, oh, la, la, la. Like I literally word the word la, la, la. And I said, I wonder if I put like paint inside those letters or inside those shapes. And then I went behind it and added a black line. I said, oh my God, it looks like a painting. So I put it on Instagram, and somebody was like, yo, I'm gonna buy that for $50. I was like, for this? It took me an hour to do this. And so I noticed that it took me no time to create something that was just a stress reliever. So I did that 10 or 15 times. I was able to pay some major bills. And I said, oh, I'm a painter now. And so from that point on, I went to do art shows. I went to do furniture. I went to do clothes. And then last summer, I kept wearing head wraps because my hair was always so big and I used to work out. I said, man, I need to figure out a way to turn my paintings into head wraps. So I'm studying, finding people who can do printing, and I was just like, Lord, I'm just give it up. I'm just gonna wear African head wraps. Late one night, somebody reaches out to me on Instagram and say, hey, we own a company here. We just moved from Nashville. I was like, I don't have time for this internet scam. Get out of my inbox. And so the guy was like, no, like we just moved here. He said, I'll send you pictures. I'm here with my wife. We're legit. So the next day I sent him a sample painting. He put it on a pair of socks, and I literally sat in the car and cried. I was like, this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And so from that point on, I started making my own head wraps. And so I debuted them end of October, beginning of November, and I've sold over 300 head wraps globally.
Oh, that's amazing.
Already. And so I just landed a major deal. Can't really talk about all of it right now, but I just landed a deal that will set me up probably for the rest of my life. And so it was all because I listened to that voice in 2014, as opposed to the other angel saying, you don't have this, you not this, you not that. And God was saying, you may not be all of that in your mind, but all of you need is that one thing, and I'll take you to heights you've never seen. And so God is literally taking my life to another level because I listened to that voice.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about how faith has impacted your journey.
Oh gosh, in a world full of creative people, you always think, well, if I can't paint this, then I'm not a painter. If I can't sing like that, I'm not a singer. If I can't dance like her, I'm not a dancer. And so God told me, you're not like that because you're like this. And so once you own who you are and have faith in the little things that you have, God can take it to higher heights. So I literally would just put myself out there. I would laugh and talk to the people that I knew, and I said, oh, well, if I wanted a skill to learn, I'll ask them how to do it. Well, how you make that face? I said, okay. So I would stay up late at night and say, Lord, I would literally quote Philippians and say, Lord, if I could just trust you with this little gift, I could have this mustard seed faith. I know that I can do all things with you. And I would just doodle all night and then put it on canvas and sell it for hundreds of dollars. All because I had faith in myself. People began to have faith in me. So without faith, honey, I would be lost.
Okay, and so where do you see you going in like the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Lord, we are 16 days in, and I've landed 3 murals. This is 16 days now. I've landed 3 murals, 4 or 5 collaborations, a distribution deal. So 3 years from now, oh God, well, I hope I'm married with some kids, or at least one. But in addition to that, I want to be so free financially that if I got a call to go and paint at a children's hospital, I wouldn't even worry about a budget. Like, my gift is to share the gift with the world. My goal is to share the gift with the world, not ever worry about money. My mom said, oh, I want to go to Israel for my birthday. I could literally write her a check, let her go. I want to be the person people come to that want to be, I want to be the dream funder. Not walking around giving out money, but if I know there's a Fallon in the world that wants to be a famous DJ, I would send her to Coachella, all expense paid. I want to be that person, like, let me reach out to Melissa. She might have so-and-so. Or just to be the connector and say, hey, you need to talk to Fallon. You need to talk to Monique. You need to talk to Melissa. And so 3 years from now, I just want to be free, freer than I am, because there's something so magical about when you follow your purpose and you walk in your gifts. You literally are not concerned about anything, just to be, and it's not even being by financially free. It's like, girl, it is what it is. You know, you learn to not put stress on things you can't change. And so I want to be that person that literally pushes other people to be dreamers and doers with their lives.
What are some challenges that you have on a daily basis, or some obstacles that you have had to overcome?
Girl, a social life. So I'm an AKA. Yesterday was my Founders Day. And so I'm supposed to be going to this, you know, party. We got a section, you know, they're like, Mel, you got to wear your baddest pink dress. You know, we're going to hang out, da-da-da. I'm like, cool, you know. So the night before, I got all my clothes laid out for Founders Day. My homeboy's like, I need you to meet this client 10 a.m. in the morning. Mind you, brunch is at 1:30, 2 o'clock. So my friend's like, you know, we have valet. You got to be there. You have to be on time. You have to be on time. I was like, I'm going to have to be late because I got to meet with somebody. And not only did I have to meet with them, I had to go make a sample to get to them by this morning. So I had to leave the brunch where we having the turn up time of our life, had to leave the party, VIP experience, all of that, and say, you know what, my future is more important to what I'm doing right now. And so I've had to sacrifice a year and a half of hanging out, traveling, you know, being with all the cool kids, and realize that God will set me in a place where I won't have to worry about letting people down. People will understand, oh, Melissa can't come, oh, she good, you know, she's building. And so I think the biggest sacrifice for me is trying to develop a relationship or find somebody that understands that I want to be in love, but I want to be really, really successful. And so as I keep bemoaning about wanting to be married and all these different things, I say, you know, God is saying, this is why that happened in 2011. That's why that happened in 2012. So it's kind of like things are making sense now. And so now I'm in a place where my career is like almost an autopilot, so I can see things move the way they need to go. But it's really understanding your purpose and saying, stop being so frustrated with the things you don't have or the things you think you're sacrificing, because there's a reason why God is saying, not right now. Stop worrying about whether you got a full-time, whether you have the car you want, the house you want. God may have you living at home for a reason. Whatever it is, stop trying to rationalize what God is doing and continue to do what God has asked you to do. And so that's kind of my biggest struggle is time management, making sure that I spend enough time with my sisters, you know, hug my mama enough, you know, call my boo back, you know, all these different things, or go hang with my girlfriends. You still find balance, but don't let letting people down be your downfall. Like, well, I want to hang out. No, hanging out has to have a purpose. Like, even when I was hanging out last night, I was like, you know, I paint, right? So I'm passing out cards, letting people know what I do. And it's not because you're money driven, but when you have a goal in mind, you're always thinking about your goal. You should never not think about your goal.
Okay, some inspiring words you would give to young Black women out there aspiring to be painters or follow their dreams and do what their heart desires?
I think you need to not be afraid to fail. I think my paintings and my artwork became more alive when I stopped comparing myself to others. God, you know, Fallon's 25. You know, she already has this. Like, a lot of people, they say comparison is the demon of joy. And so when you go through life, you can't worry about other people's story because you don't know what their end is going to look like. And so when you're following your dreams, you have to understand there's a purpose for it. You know, if God gave me a dream to be a dancer, I don't know who else I'm holding up to be a dancer. So when I became an artist, I said, you know, I really want to be the person to agitate other people. Like, man, Melissa painting, she never painted before. I know I could paint. And so I want to be the person that pushes people to really dream beyond measure and to say, you know what, I'm going to be fearless in my pursuit. I'm not going to worry about the opinions of others. And I'm going to be bold in my affirmations every day. Even when it doesn't look like I'm a famous painter, I'm going to get it every day. I'm a famous painter. I'm a world painter. I'm a celebrity painter. I'm this, I'm that. So every day I'm saying it to myself. I'm reaching out and saying, you know what, I want to be the person people look at. And so after me, the person that they impact, I'm literally a part of not only the million I impacted, but the next million that they impact. So it's looking at the bigger picture. Dreaming without boundaries and understanding your purpose is bigger than you. So when you kind of put like, wow, you know, if you became like when they tell you in the airplane, make sure you put on your life raft first before you can help somebody else. Become your whole self. Work on you, and it becomes evident in everything you do. So if you're a dancer, you're like, gosh, she just puts her all into being a dancer. She puts her all into being a DJ. She leaves it all out on the floor, you know. So people will see that and be inspired just by what you do. And then from that point on, you go higher and higher. So don't be afraid to be yourself, because God gave you to this earth to be you. And that's what you need to do. Be fearless in your pursuit.
Who are you?
That's such a heavy question. when I really think about who I am at January 16, 2017, I am a kaleidoscope of hope. I found love and purpose in a very dark place, dealing with death in the family, depression, and just frustration in life. And so if I can find all these colors inside of my darkness, I can give that to somebody else. So I definitely want to be known as that. And I also want to be known as a electrifying agitator. People are sitting on their dreams and not realizing that they need to go forth in the world and be great and be strong. And if you don't sit and understand your purpose, you're literally wasting talent. And so I talk about the analogy of when we all get to heaven. I read a powerful book, Prayer Jabez. We all get to heaven. God lets you go sit in the room. And you're like, well, what are all these gift boxes for? You're like, why are these gift boxes here? And God was saying, those are the gifts that you never opened. You only asked to be a painter. You never asked to be an agitator. You never asked to be a kaleidoscope of hope. You never asked to be a wife. You never asked to be a best friend. You only asked for that one thing. So when you're not fearless and you're asking, God can only give you what you ask for. He's not just going to be giving you. When you win a lottery, you can't win a lottery unless you get a ticket. So the only way to win the jackpot that God has for you, you have to get out there and believe that He can do it. And so that's my biggest thing. I don't ever want to box God in and say, oh, I just want to be this. I said, no, God, I want to be used by you creatively. I want to leave an impact on the earth. And so whatever that looks like, Lord, I'm open. And so all this stuff, literally, as I'm sitting here, my phone is like blowing up. People are like, I can't believe what God is doing for you. It's because I believe that God could do it for me. And that's why it's happening. So be fearless, be bold, and just trust that God can do it. Find you about 5 or 6 scriptures, quote them, own them, write them on your wall, write them on your mirror, have little cards in your car. I change my background on my phone to all the places I want to travel. I look at my artwork every single day. I wear my artwork on my head. I'm my own biggest billboard. So to believe in yourself, you almost have to like get in the ring and believe every day, like, okay, I'm a fighter. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But every day I'm telling myself, even though it doesn't look like it on Monday, Tuesday can be a better day. If God allows me to see that day, then I can just keep pressing. So that's all I got to say.